I never thought waking up at 5 a.m. could change my life. For most of my adult life, I considered myself a night owl. Late nights were my thing. I used to believe productivity lived after midnight, that peace only came once the world went quiet. But after hearing countless stories about high performers who swore by early mornings, I decided to put it to the test. 1 full month, 30 days. No snoozing, no exceptions. Just me, a 5 a.m. wake-up call, and the discipline to follow through. It wasn't easy. In fact, the first week nearly broke me. That first morning, my alarm went off while the sky was still pitch black. My body screamed at me to stay in bed. My eyes were barely open. Every instinct begged for more sleep. But I got up anyway. Not because I wanted to, but because I was curious. What did these early risers know that I didn't? I stumbled through the first morning in a fog, made a cup of coffee, sat in silence, no emails, no social media, just stillness. It was eerie at first. But by the end of that first hour, something felt different. I wasn't reacting to the day, I was ahead of it. By day 3, I began to feel the psychological tug-of-war between habit and intention. My body resisted the shift. My mind clung to the familiar comfort of sleeping in, but the quiet, those early hours, started to feel sacred, peaceful, like I had carved out a hidden pocket of time that belonged only to me. I used that time to reflect, plan, and move. Nothing complicated, just stretching, walking, sometimes journaling. There was no pressure to perform, just space to be present. That space became the foundation for everything else that followed. What surprised me most wasn't how much I could get done in the early hours. It was how much clearer everything felt. One of the biggest transformations was in my mental clarity. Before the 5 a.m. challenge, my days felt like a blur, always reacting, always behind, always busy. But when I started the day with intentionality, everything slowed down. I could actually hear myself think. I had time to breathe before the noise of the world kicked in. With fewer distractions, I found myself making better decisions. I was more thoughtful, less impulsive. Whether it was deciding what to eat, how to respond to a message, or which task to tackle first. My choices felt more aligned with who I wanted to become. Another shift happened in how I approached productivity. Like many people, I used to equate productivity with cramming in as much work as possible. But waking up early taught me that quality trumps quantity. Those first few hours free of interruptions, social media, and incoming demands were the most productive hours of my entire day. I began tackling deep work early. Writing, planning, strategizing, anything that required focus. I did it before the world woke up. And because my mind was fresh, I could do in 2 hours what used to take me 5. And the energy that was unexpected. Yes, I was tired the first few days. My body had to adjust. But once it did, I noticed I had more consistent energy throughout the day. Not a jittery, caffeine-fueled energy, but a calm, steady alertness. And here's the catch. I was actually sleeping better. Going to bed earlier meant I wasn't scrolling late into the night or watching just one more episode. My sleep became deeper, more restorative. Relationships improved too, because I wasn't waking up rushed or stressed. I brought a calmer presence to my interactions. I had time to eat breakfast with intention, to speak with loved ones before diving into work, to listen without being half distracted. It's incredible how much patience you have when you're not already running on fumes by 9 a.m., perhaps. The most profound change was internal. There's something powerful about keeping a promise to yourself every single morning. When that alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and you get up heaving, when you don't feel like it builds a quiet confidence. It says, I am in charge of my life. I can do hard things. That confidence spills over into everything else. You start showing up more consistently, speaking more intentionally, believing in your ability to follow through. It wasn't just about waking up early. It was about who I became in the process. And of course, it wasn't perfect. There were days I woke up and immediately wanted to crawl back under the covers. Days I questioned why I was doing this. Days discipline felt more like a burden than a gift. But those days were part of the growth. Discipline is uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. But you know what's more uncomfortable? Regret. Living life on autopilot. Waking up one day wondering where your time went and why your dreams are still on hold. One morning, around week 3, I had this moment of clarity. I was sipping tea as the sun slowly rose, golden light spilling through the window. I realized I hadn't just been waking up earlier, I had been reclaiming my life. Those hours weren't just about productivity, they were about presence, about choosing how I wanted to live rather than letting life choose for me. Waking up early taught me that time isn't something we find, it's something we make. Every morning I was making time for myself, for what mattered, for the life I wanted to create. And this shift had a ripple effect. I started setting clearer boundaries around my time. I said no more often, not out of selfishness, but out of clarity. I knew what mattered to me. I knew where my energy was best spent. That kind of clarity changes everything from how you spend your time to who you spend it with. Now, 30 days later, I can't imagine going back. Do I still wake up at 5 a.m. every single day? Not always, but most days, yes. Right. Because now I'm not doing it to prove a point. I'm doing it because I've seen what it does for my mind, my health, my relationships, and my purpose. It's no longer a challenge, it's a lifestyle. You don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. to change your life, but you do need to find your version of it. That space where you take back control, that ritual that anchors you, that habit that reminds you who you are and what you're capable of. For me, it was the morning. So if you're considering trying it even just for a week, I encourage you to do it, not for the hustle. It's not to be more productive, but to meet a quieter, stronger, more grounded version of yourself that's been waiting for space to emerge. The truth is, life doesn't change overnight. It changes slowly, through the small, consistent choices we make each day. Waking up at 5 a.m. was just one of those choices, but it changed the trajectory of everything. Because when you win the morning, you win the day. And when you win enough days, you start to win at life. And it all starts with one alarm, one decision, one morning. So, tomorrow, when that alarm goes off, ask yourself this: who do I want to be today? Then get up and go meet them.